And she had such fear in her eyes, I felt so bad for her. Wow. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm actually in Korea. Like, this is crazy. Brianna Shi. Hello, you must be Brianna. 네, 안녕하세요. My name is Director Kim and I will be your director at the hagwon, and I just want to say it is so nice to finally get to meet you. It's nice to meet you. I have been so excited to meet you too. Great, so anyway, let me show you to your new apartment. Follow me. 네. Okay, I'm coming. So we're here, but I do need to warn you that the apartment looks a little bit different than what you may have seen online. You mean from the pictures that you sent me? Yeah, but that's no big deal. I mean, it still looks, I would say, pretty nice. Anyways, let me open it up for you. See, it's not so bad, right? I'll let you get settled then. Bye.
3 hours later.
Oh my, you're still sleeping at this time? I mean, yeah, I'm pretty tired because of the time difference. I see. Well, how quickly can you be dressed? Oh, where are we going? Oh, I was just thinking it might be a good idea for you to visit the school today. Oh, yeah, I just thought my contract started next week is all. Yes, well, I mean, it would be good for you to see the school before you start, you know, get a feel for how things work around the hagwon. So anyway, I'll give you some time to get ready and I'll be waiting outside.
The next day.
Hi Brianna, how are you doing? So I was wondering whose class I would be observing today. No. Observing, no. You're going to start teaching from today. I know it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but I'm gonna be sitting in the back of the class in case you need any help, any problems arise, and just, you know, for overall guidance. In the contract, it said that there would be a week of training, so I'm just a little confused. I don't really feel prepared to start teaching right now. Yes, usually we do give about a week of training, which is why I put it in the contract. But you see, the thing is, we had a teacher, the teacher that you're replacing actually, she had a unique situation. I literally cannot do this anymore. I've got to get out of here. That school is crazy. That director is crazy. I just passport and literally nothing else matters. Just my passport. I'm going home. Screw this. Yeah, let's just go. Anyway, because of that unique situation, you're gonna start teaching from today. So anyway, don't worry. You have lots of experience with kids. You shouldn't have any problem at all. The lessons are very straightforward. The kids listen very well, and I think it'll go smoothly.
A few moments later.
Hi class, it's nice to meet you. My name is Brianna Teacher. Can you guys say Brianna Teacher? Stupid teacher! 있습니다. 네.
3 weeks later.
What time is it? It's already 10 time to go. Goodness. So tired today. Oh, Brianna, 1 second, please. So I'm sorry to bother you when you're about to go home, especially on the weekend, but I just wanted to remind you that report cards are due next Friday. Oh yeah, I've been working on those. I haven't been able to finish them yet, but I will be working on them again during my hour of prep next week, and I will have them to you by Friday. Well, that is true, and I did tell the other teachers that, it is your first time writing the report cards for our school, and when we're writing report cards for Korean parents, we don't want to be too harsh or too honest because, you know, parents might get offended. So I just want to make sure that you are using the appropriate words when you are writing your report cards. Okay, well then I can give them to you Wednesday. Well, actually Monday is better, you know, just in case you have to fix anything and then I have to check them again and then you have to fix something again, you know, I want to be sure we have enough time. So you mean I should do them? Yes, exactly, this weekend. Anyways, excuse me. Have a good weekend.
Many months later.
Hey Brianna, go ahead and take a seat. So how can I help you today? Yeah, so we planned a meeting to talk about vacation times, remember? Oh, that's right, I completely forgot. So I was wondering if I could have the week of the 15th off. I'm sorry, you want the entire week? Oh, is that a problem? It says here in the contract, it says we have 11 paid vacation days that the teacher can use freely. Yes, well, usually our teachers understand that for the continuation of the school, we usually only use a maximum of 3 days in a row. Only 3 days? I mean, if I can only use 3 days, it's nearly impossible for me to go back to America and see my family in that amount of time. I do understand, but you also need to understand our unique situation. Why did I start working here? Now I understand why teachers do midnight runs. Maybe I should do a midnight run. So anyways, I'll go ahead and put you down for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of that week off, and I do just want to say thank you so much for your understanding. Hello everyone, it's Haru in Korea. I hope you guys enjoyed that skit at the beginning. Today I wanted to make a video about some reasons why teachers, and specifically hagwon teachers in Korea, are burnt out, or why they get burnt out so easily. So before we go ahead and get into this video, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I would greatly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. It would mean a lot to me to continue to see my channel grow, and hoping to at least make it to 2,000 subscribers this year. So please take a moment to go ahead and do that before we get started. Thanks. So before we get started, I just want to put a little disclaimer. I have only worked at hagwons. I have been living in Korea since 2017 as an English teacher. And so far, I have worked at 3 hagwons. My first one was terrible. You can check out some videos about that. My second one was less terrible, and my third one is amazing. So I don't want to say that these experiences happen to every hagwon teacher in Korea. Maybe you get very lucky with your first hagwon and you have an amazing experience, and I truly hope that for you. I feel like teachers are becoming more aware and trying to warn other teachers about bad hagwons, so I'm hoping that less new teachers coming to Korea have a bad experience. Like I said, my first 2 hagwons were not great, and every teacher that I've met in Korea who has worked at a hagwon, at least almost every teacher, has had some type of bad experience when it comes to a hagwon. So again, you can get lucky. My current hagwon is amazing, and I need to make a video about how amazing my current hagwon is. But my first 2, I was burnt out every single day. But anyway, let me tell you some of the reasons why I was burnt out and why other teachers might also easily get burnt out. So the first reason why some teachers in Korea easily get burnt out is that a lot of hagwons, not all, but a lot of hagwons have very high expectations. There is a lot of pressure from the parents, and that pressure gets placed on the teachers. For example, a lot of parents in Korea seem to just have very unrealistic goals for their children. They might sign them up for a hagwon and expect them to be reading perfectly or spelling perfectly within a couple of months, and they might have started the hagwon with very little English skills. So they're basically asking us to work miracles. Even if the kids do have a high level of English ability, some parents might get mad that we're not sending enough homework. Some parents might get mad that we're not checking their books enough. Some parents might get mad that their kid didn't get the perfect score on the test. It is just very stressful. And so all of that pressure from the parents gets put on the teachers, because the parents are telling the directors of the hagwons their expectations, and then the directors come to us and they tell us that we're doing our job wrong, or we need to do it this way, even though we're the ones in the classroom and we see how things are working, but we're expected to change how we're teaching in order to fit what the parents expect. To go along with reason number one, my second reason for why teachers get so burnt out at hagwons is because the kids are also burnt out. So if you are working at a hagwon where there's lots of tests, lots of homework, a very strict curriculum with no leg room, it can be very stressful for not only you, but for the kids. So a lot of the kids, they go to elementary school from like maybe, I don't know, 7 to 2. And then immediately after elementary school, they just start going to hagwon. Some of them all the way up until 9 p.m., 10 p.m. So I just remember being at my first hagwon and always having to encourage the kids to get their work done. And as I'm being like, oh, come on, let's write this sentence. And the kid is like basically sleeping. And I'm trying to wake them up, and they're like, I'm just so tired. After this hagwon, I have to go to another hagwon, and after that hagwon, I have to go to piano hagwon, and it just is a never-ending cycle. And this was happening with kids as young as 3. I remember one of my 3-year-old kids at my first school, they were taking a nap and they had to get their work done. Like if the work is not written in the book and we send the book home and the parent sees that the kid didn't do the work, they're upset. So I need them to wake up and do the work, and I feel bad because I know you're exhausted, I know you're tired, but if you don't get this done, your parents are gonna yell at you. And I just remember waking that kid up, and they were just telling me that they're just so tired, and yesterday they didn't get home until super late because of all the hagwons they had to go to. And another example of the kids also being burnt out, one of my first graders at my first hagwon, the first graders at that hagwon were pretty high advanced level, and we were doing one of the workbook pages. We had read a story, and in the workbook you were supposed to write a sentence about the story and then draw a picture. And the point of this first grade class was not to draw pictures, but that was in the workbook. So I gave the kids about 2 to 3 minutes to draw a quick little picture, and I told them that we had to move on. And this one girl started crying, literally crying, because she's like, I can't move on, I have to finish this picture. And I was like, I know, but we really need to finish the lesson. It's okay. If we finish early, you can have some extra time to do it. And she was crying, she started crying, and I was like, I had no idea what was going on. And she told me in front of everybody, she said, if my mom sees that I don't finish this picture, she's going to hit me. And she had such fear in her eyes, I felt so bad for her. So after that moment, I gave that girl so much love. We would do spelling tests. She would always get 100% on her spelling test, but there was one time she had forgotten one of the letters in the word, and I just like wrote it in there for her, because I was like, if her mom is going to be hitting her for not finishing a picture, I can only imagine what her mom is going to do to her if she misses one of the things on the spelling test. And so stressing out the kids made me stressed, and it made me really burnt out, because I just felt like the kids were not enjoying it, and I just felt like what I was doing was wrong. It felt like adding more pressure to their plate was wrong. The third reason that I feel like teachers get burnt out so easily is because at a lot of hagwons, you are expected to work at home, work on the weekends, or stay late. For my first 2 hagwons, there was so much work, and it was impossible to get completed in the working hours. And I worked from, at my first hagwon, 9 to 7:30, and at my second hagwon, 9 to 5:30. But oftentimes I was staying an extra hour later, an extra 2 hours later to finish the work that was required of me. And if I wasn't gonna stay later, I would just take the work home. I remember I would have to bring a giant backpack to carry all the books home with me so that I could check the books at home, because the parents wanted the books checked perfectly. If they saw you skipped over some mistake while checking the books, it was a big deal. So I would just have to take home books and essays and check them at home. I would also just have to do a lot of my lesson planning at home, or I didn't have time to look over the lesson plans if they were already made for me while I was at work. So I would have to take it home and read through them and make sure I would know what I was doing for the next day. And that was very stressful. So the fourth reason that teachers might get burnt out easily when it comes to teaching in Korea is that their teaching hours are just extremely long. So the average working day in Korea is 9 to 6, especially if you're working at a kindergarten, that kind of hagwon. If you are working at a different type of hagwon, you might be working a bit later in the day, but it's usually about 8 to 9 hours. If you can find a hagwon that's less than that, you struck gold. And also, regardless of how many hours you are contracted to work, I would ask, what are your expected teaching hours? Because if you work from 9 to 6, but you only have 3 or 4 teaching hours and the rest is prep time or your lunch, like that's a pretty good deal, right? But if you work 9 to 6 and you're working 7 or 8 of those hours, that's a bit difficult. I also want to add to this, and it's kind of something to keep in mind, that I feel like one of the reasons you might easily get burnt out if you're working, especially a 9 to 6 job, is that from 9 to 6 is when the dentist is open, the post office is open, the banks are open, the doctors are open from 9 to 6. So it might be very difficult to get errands done if you're working 9 to 6 because you can't just leave your job to go do your errands. And I feel like especially at my first hagwon, I was working 9 to 7:30. It always stressed me out because I might need to go to the bank for something, or, you know, there's a lot of problems that you might have to solve, especially as a foreigner living in Korea, in terms of your phone plan, your banking information. And there was just absolutely no time to do it. So that is something to keep in mind if you're going to be taking a 9 to 6 job. The fifth reason that I feel like a lot of teachers are burnt out in Korea is because of the short vacation times. So if you work at a school with 5 or more employees, then you should be getting 11 paid vacation days. Your second year, you should be getting 15 days if you're staying at the same school. So for me, the problem is 11 days is such a short amount of time. It's very difficult to travel if you need to go back to your home country. And a lot of times you are not allowed to use those 11 days freely. A lot of times the hagwon will pick when you can use your days and they'll have pre-scheduled vacations. And I don't know how many days other countries get, but I just feel like 11 is very small. And I could be wrong, so call me out in the comments if I'm wrong. In your country, the average is like 11 paid days, like that's fine. But I just felt like, especially in the beginning, I worked so much to only get 11 paid vacation days, like waiting for that summer break to come and it's only 1 week, and waiting for winter vacation to come and it's only 1 week. And the thing that sucks about Korea is Korea does not have many public holidays. And a lot of the public holidays that they do have are in the middle of the week, like on a Wednesday or a Tuesday or a Thursday. So it's like you don't even get a long weekend. And it's very frustrating because it just feels like after working that much, you should get a longer break. And the last reason why I feel like teachers are so burnt out after working at a hagwon or while working at a hagwon is because a lot of teachers come to Korea to travel, and if you work at a bad hagwon, then on the weekends, you're either gonna be prepping or you're just gonna be so exhausted and you're not going to wanna travel or have the energy to even search and find out information about where to go. So I know my first year in Korea as a teacher at my worst hagwon, in the beginning, I would just come home on Friday. I would immediately go to sleep until about 3 or 4 in the morning. And then I would wake up and eat some junk food, watch some, YouTube, and then go back to sleep, wake up, eat more junk food, get some delivery, go back to sleep, wake up, freak out about, oh my goodness, I need to plan for my lesson, do that, go back to sleep. Like, I was not leaving my house those first couple of months. I was ready to book it on a plane ride home. And if you would like to, again, see some of the reasons why, I made a video about why I almost did a midnight run in Korea. But yeah, it was very, very stressful. And I just remember I had come to Korea to travel and explore, study Korean even, and I just had absolutely no energy after work, and especially on the weekends. So yeah, on Facebook and Reddit, there are blacklisted pages for hagwons. So before you accept a job, maybe try to talk to some other teachers who worked at that hagwon, search your hagwon's name on Reddit or Facebook and see if it pops up under any blacklist and things like that. Just make sure you do your research, and hopefully you can also find a good hagwon or one that is manageable, because all hagwons have their problems. But I just pray that if you are looking to come to Korea to work at a hagwon, that you find one that's good, because hagwons have a lot of benefits versus public schools, and public schools have their benefits too. It just kind of depends on what you want. But anyway, I have made lots of videos about the benefits of hagwons, why I chose a hagwon, red flags to look out for hagwons, the reason I almost did a midnight run from a hagwon, all of that I have made before. So those will either be somewhere up here in the suggested videos or they'll be in the description box down below if you'd like to check those out. Anyway, I have ranted for way too long and it is time for me to eat dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any questions about hagwons, anything I could potentially answer for you, please let me know in the comment section down below if there's any videos you would like me to make. But yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that. Please give this video a like and I'll see you guys later. Bye!